Lush, and I'm here in the Hub Culture Pavilion in Davos. Very pleased to be joined by William McDonough. Thanks very much for coming. Co-author of Cradle to Cradle, and new author Upcycle. Tell me, how do you upcycle architecture?
Well, the idea of upcycling is that everything gets better when we touch it. And when you look at the world in the last few hundred years, we've basically, everywhere humans go, the world seems to get worse. So what if a building could be like a tree? So instead of looking at a building and saying, can I reduce the carbon emissions or can I reduce poison water or something? Mm-hmm. What if a building actually made food, generated oxygen, fixed nitrogen, distilled water, grew food, change colors with the seasons, creates microclimates, and we think, what would if a building was like a tree? So right now, that's the part that I'm really focused on, is how can buildings make the world better, not just less bad?
It's interesting because I was talking to John Maida about the importance of design, and he was saying, actually, at this point, we don't want better technology. What we want is better design. Do you think does that resonate with you?
Well, I think that for me, that issue is that design is the first signal of human intention, and it manifests itself locally everywhere. So I'm not that interested in sustainability, because if somebody said, they had their marriage was sustainable, it sounds pretty boring. So the real question becomes, what do we delight in? And that's going to be a decision made by people everywhere based on their culture and predilections. So, but design is the first signal of human intention. And I think that's what he's saying. If we just take what we have as technology and start using it, what are our intentions for it? What are the principles with which we're operating? So we like to ask the first question is, what is our intention for the world? And how do we have that microcosmically in this thing we make now? What does it tell us about the whole world? Well, it tells us about what we want right now.
I know you're working on a lot of different projects, molecules to the space station. Is there one you're particularly excited about at the moment?
Well, the nice thing about the space station project, when NASA asked me to work on the Mars station, and we said, why don't we not go to the red planet yet? Why don't we come back to the blue one? And so we assembled the design team, and it basically were the people who did the International Space Station. So we got together in Houston, and started talking about it, and said, wait a minute, is the space station nuclear powered and the reactor's 93 million miles away? It's 8 minutes and it's wireless? Yes. Good, they invented the photovoltaics, so they're in charge of energy. Same thing with water. Water is very hard to get to the space station. It's $80,000 a gallon. So we have to drink our urine. Isn't that interesting? What is that about? Anyway, we did a space station on Earth with them. NASA was amazing, and their designers were incredible. We did a building, and the building can make 120% of the energy it needs and purify its own water. And the building was built on a normal federal budget for an office building. It had a schedule. And so people say here on Earth that you don't need to be a rocket scientist to do something smart, but what if you were? So we assembled rocket scientists to make a building, and it was so much fun.
Amazing. Thank you so much for stopping into the Hub Culture Pavilion here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.